What's up, my fellow devs, and welcome back to the Dev Shop. So, in the previous video, we worked on learning about the nav components and how we're going to use them. In this video, we're going to set up our player and the skeleton for our script. Don't forget to join the Discord. There are options in the description below to support the channel via Patreon, Subscribestar, all that good stuff. So let's jump right into it. Okay, so as you can see here, I have a AI character, and I'm not gonna go full on from start to finish because I have made multiple videos on how to create a character. It's the same way that you would create a main character. So definitely check those videos out. You have the getting started with Lumberyard earlier videos. I believe it's somewhere between 5 and 7, and I've also did another video more recently. All of these were within the last 6 months, so they're still current to the current version, which is 1.22. So we're just going to go over our components and how I laid everything together. So we have our melee character, so that's the main entity, and as you can see, we have a tag which is labeled AI close because we're going to do a close range and a long range. We have our navigation component, which is set to medium size. I left everything pretty much defaulted. We have our rigid body. We have our collider. And remember that for the physics system, to tell the system or the engine that the character or the AI or the NPC can move, it needs the rigid body and the collider. If you remove the rigid body and just put the collider, you cannot move it physically. You have to use something alternative like move position that ignores physics. And then we have our Lua script called AI controller. And as you guys haven't noticed by now, we're going to do this series in Lua because I know you guys requested more tutorials in Lua. For those who support me on Patreon and those who support the Gumroad, where you can buy all of the project files for the channel, anytime I do a video, you'll have a Lua and a script canvas version commented and things like that to give you guys and for you guys to support the channel. So there will be a script canvas version, but that'll be for Patreon only or those who support the Gumroad asset. All right, so that's it for our main entity. Now the child entity, which holds our mesh, we just have an actor, which is set to this character that I purchased years ago on the Unreal Store. It's a robot, and the animation graph. And these two are your most important. I mean, the main one is important too, but as far as visually, these two are your most important. So now that we have that, if we open up our animation graph, it's very simple actually. See, as you can see here, we only have 3 animations. Now I did put in more motions, so I have separate videos for blend spaces and motion events and all that. So definitely take a look at that. I'll try to put that in the description below so you have an option of where to go. But as you can see, I created my motion set, AI locomotion. I added all of my motions here, which will then populate our motions on this tab. And when I created my animation graph, you just right click, create node, sources, motion. I did 3 of those. And when you click on one, you can choose your motions. Make sure you have your motion set selected, which is the AI locomotion that we created inside of the motion set. And your motions right here, you can't see it, but the plus sign, sorry, let me go ahead and select plus sign, then you have all your motions here. So that's pretty cool. So now that we have 3 motions, we have our idle, our walk backwards, and our walk forwards. I didn't do any strafing. We'll probably do that in an advanced video, maybe some strafing and also to circle around the character. In this instance, we're going to have the AI continuously look at the player when he's in their sight, line of sight. So the turning in a sense is going to kind of be taken care of for us. So he just needs to know how to walk so he can turn with that, walk backwards and things like that. And of course, all of this is driven by one parameter, is walking. So its range is from -1 to 1, and that determines if you're walking forward or backwards. So pretty standard stuff. Once you have that, you're going to have to save your animation graph, your motion set, and your workspace. Make sure you save those to a location that you can find. Once you do that, you just populate your animation graph, you choose your motion set and your active motion set, which is probably going to populate automatically. and you're good to go. Once you have that, we can actually go ahead and get ready to get his script ready. So for the Lua script, we're going to open that up. So this is the skeleton for our script. This is the basis of where we're going to pretty much do everything. Now, everything that you see here, you can find under your e-buses. If you go over here and we scroll down to our navigation component notification bus, we have on searching for path, on traversal, cancel, and all the things that I have labeled here. And of course, you'll make use of the component request bus and things like that. And real quick, if you are new to Lua, if this is your first time seeing me work in Lua, please check back my earlier videos. I even have like 6 or 7 videos directly for Lua that shows you how to create a script and to do certain things to kind of get you familiar with the language. And of course, you have videos on YouTube that just go over Lua and can widen your knowledge that way as well. So for the function on activate, we need to connect to a bus. So we're going to wrap it inside of a variable called nav_id, and we need to have it equal the navigation component notification bus, and we're going to connect that to self in self.entity ID. This is what allows us to listen out for these events here. So we're going to do everything that we need for the AI for the most part inside of here, and if we need to, we might jump into some on tick and things like that. So that gives us our character, that gives us our script. Pause the video if you need to write all of this down. In the next video, we're going to work on a guard AI, which is essentially detecting the player once they're in sight. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, give it a thumbs up. If you have any questions or comments, let me know down below, or you can find me on Discord. Other than that, hope you guys are having a very dope day. Hope you guys are prospering in your projects. And until next time, keep developing.